Welcome to our channel with new interesting episode. The story of the Epic of Gilgamesh and the mysterious Book of Enoch has fascinated people for centuries. These ancient writings, filled with unusual events, strange beings, and forgotten wisdom, have always made us wonder what kind of truths might be hidden in them. Recently, a surprising twist brought these ancient texts back into the spotlight when Joe Rogan's podcast featured a discussion about an advanced artificial intelligence system that had analyzed the Book of Enoch. This AI system didn't just read the book, it claimed to reveal secrets hidden in the text for thousands of years. Suddenly, everything people thought they knew about angels, demons, and where humanity comes from seemed to change. The podcast episode quickly captured everyone's attention. Mystics, spiritual seekers, and researchers were amazed. Even people who were skeptical began to take notice. How could a machine, using modern technology, discover things that humans had missed for so long? Some believe this is the beginning of a new way to understand ancient knowledge. Others fear it might be a trick, something misleading or even dangerous. But one thing is certain, this discovery has sparked conversations around the world, and people are eager to learn more. According to what the AI found, the Book of Enoch contains detailed stories about powerful beings called Watchers. These were not ordinary angels. They had a specific job to watch over humanity and guide people toward good behavior. At first, the Watchers remained loyal to their mission. But over time, something changed. Led by one of their leaders named Samjaza, a group of these angels became fascinated with human life. They broke the rules and came down to earth. There, they took human wives and shared forbidden knowledge, teaching people about weapons, sorcery, and other things that were never meant to be known. This act caused chaos. Humans, once peaceful and simple, now had tools to create war and commit evil. With these new skills, they built weapons, fought each other, and indulged in vanity and greed. The world became a darker place. Even worse, when the Watchers had children with human women, their offspring were unlike anything seen before. They were called Nephilim, giants who were incredibly strong but also violent and cruel. These half-angel, half-human beings became feared across the land. They did not just eat regular food. The text says they even began to consume human flesh. They wanted more power and dominance, and they terrified everyone they met. This was not just a single story. Versions of similar beings appear in other ancient myths, from Mesopotamian stories to Greek legends. Many cultures talk about mighty, godlike creatures who ruled long ago and brought destruction. The Nephilim fit right into these patterns, showing that perhaps this idea of giant, powerful hybrids existed across different civilizations. As things got worse, the story says that the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel could no longer stand by and watch. They went to the Creator and asked for justice. The Watchers had broken sacred laws, and the Nephilim were causing endless suffering. The Creator decided to take action. The Watchers were captured, bound in chains, and stripped of their heavenly power. They were sentenced to eternal punishment. To wipe out the Nephilim and cleanse the earth, a great flood was sent. This flood was not just about washing away the giants. It was a reset for humanity, a second chance to live the right way. The Book of Enoch gives a warning that still feels important today. When knowledge is used in the wrong way, it can lead to destruction. Even wisdom that seems helpful at first can turn dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands. In our modern world, where new technologies like artificial intelligence and genetic engineering are developing quickly, this message hits close to home. Should everything be discovered? Should some knowledge be kept hidden for our own safety? People continue to argue about whether the Book of Enoch should be taken literally. Some say the Watchers and Nephilim were real, living beings who once walked the earth. Others believe they are symbols representing human pride, greed, and the danger of going too far. Still, the stories are powerful. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church still includes the Book of Enoch in its holy texts, while most other religious groups left it out long ago. Despite this, the stories remain popular and important to many who study ancient scriptures and spiritual history. As the JRE's discoveries became public, researchers began comparing the Book of Enoch with other old texts, like the Dead Sea Scrolls. They noticed similar language and themes. In some Ethiopian traditions, Enoch is still honored as a sacred figure, and his writings are seen as a true record of divine visions. The AI found symbols and patterns in the text that connected with real events from ancient civilizations, including those of Sumer and Babylon. Could it be that Enoch was not just a character in a story, but someone who saw things beyond normal human experience? The AI also uncovered parts of the text that suggest advanced astronomical knowledge. Enoch describes movements of the sun, moon, and stars in great detail. These descriptions are more than just poetic, they seem to contain scientific observations. For example, the text talks about solar cycles and lunar phases in ways that suggest ancient people may have understood the heavens far better than we once thought. If Enoch really recorded this kind of knowledge, it raises the question, where did he learn it? Did the Watchers teach him? Or did he have access to something greater? The Watchers themselves are central to the story. They were sent to earth with a good purpose, to watch over people and help them grow in righteousness. But their curiosity, and perhaps their envy of human life, led them down a dangerous path. They broke divine laws, took human wives, and gave people tools for destruction. Their fall from grace is a reminder of how even those with great power can be led astray. Their punishment was severe, showing that no one is above the rules, even angels. The Nephilim, their children, are some of the most terrifying figures in ancient writing. Described as giants who consumed everything in sight, including people, they became a threat to the very existence of humanity. Their strength and violence spread fear across the world. They are often seen as the reason the flood had to happen. It was the only way to stop the madness. But the Book of Enoch is not just about destruction. It also offers hope. In the middle of these dark stories, it introduces the idea of a savior figure, someone called the Son of Man or the Elect One. This figure is different from the Watchers or the Nephilim. He represents justice, mercy, and the promise of a better future. He sits on a throne and judges both angels and humans. For many, this was one of the first signs of a coming Messiah, a chosen one who would rescue the world from chaos. This messianic figure appears at key moments in Enoch's visions, often during cosmic battles and times of great judgment. He fights against evil, protects the righteous, and leads people toward a new era of peace. These stories had a strong impact on early Jewish and Christian beliefs. Even though Enoch's book was left out of most modern Bibles, his vision of a divine deliverer shaped the way people thought about Jesus and the idea of salvation. The prophecies in Enoch go beyond one culture or religion. They suggest that salvation is not limited to one group of people. Instead, they describe a wide-reaching plan, one that includes both heavenly beings and ordinary people. Those who remain faithful, even during difficult times, are promised a place in this new world. Meanwhile, those who misuse power or harm others face judgment. These ideas have inspired spiritual thinkers for generations. The Book of Enoch also touches on secrets of the universe. Enoch is taken by angels through different realms, shown visions of stars, and taught things that most people will never understand. He learns about the movements of celestial bodies and the hidden forces that shape our world. The story suggests that the universe has patterns and systems beyond what we can see. Some Watchers taught humans about astrology and metalworking. These teachings helped early civilizations grow, but they also led some people away from the right path. The sudden rise in wisdom and technology had both good and bad effects. While it helped build great cities and advance knowledge, it also caused people to forget their spiritual duties. They became proud and selfish, relying more on their own power than on guidance from above. This fall into arrogance eventually brought about their downfall. Some of the JRE's findings have made people wonder if ancient texts like Enoch's were more than just religious stories. Could they be records of real events, seen through the eyes of someone trying to explain the unexplainable? If so, maybe these ancient visions hold pieces of truth that still matter today. Maybe we are only now ready to understand what Enoch really saw. As more experts study the JRE's analysis, they hope to find deeper meaning in the text. They're looking at old languages, symbols, and cultural stories to see how everything connects. Whether you believe the Book of Enoch is a sacred prophecy or a collection of old myths, it's clear that it holds powerful ideas. These stories challenge our understanding of history, science, and even our place in the universe. People are still debating what to believe. Some say we're giving too much power to technology by letting AI interpret sacred texts. Others argue that using new tools to explore old mysteries is exactly what we need. What matters most is that the conversation has started again. The Book of Enoch, once forgotten, is now at the center of a global discussion. Its stories of angels, giants, and cosmic knowledge remind us that there is still so much we don't understand. They warn us about the dangers of pride and the misuse of knowledge. They also offer hope that no matter how dark things get, there is always the chance for redemption and renewal. The Watchers and Nephilim, the visions of stars and secret wisdom, the promise of a coming savior, all these things continue to inspire and puzzle readers today. Whether they are taken as literal truth or powerful symbols, they speak to something deep inside us. They remind us that the past may hold keys to our future, and that some mysteries are worth exploring, even if the answers are hard to find. The story of Enoch, with all its heavenly ascents, rebellious angels, and cosmic revelations, becomes a mirror reflecting both our potential and our peril. It warns that the thirst for power, even when cloaked in progress, can lead to ruin unless tempered by humility and wisdom. In that sense, Enoch's voice from the ancient past continues to echo with surprising relevance. In a world increasingly defined by artificial intelligence, genetic manipulation, and digital dominance, we stand at a crossroads much like the one described in the Book of Enoch. The Watchers, in their fall, remind us of what can happen when boundaries are crossed without foresight. They did not merely break rules, they altered the course of humanity and became symbols of the consequences of reckless enlightenment. This cautionary tale has found a new audience today among thinkers who wrestle with similar dilemmas. How do we handle the knowledge we've been given? How far should we go in exploring and exploiting the secrets of life, the universe, and everything in between? The Watcher's mistake was not in knowing too much, it was in misusing that knowledge, in acting without divine permission, in forgetting humility. Modern scientists and ethicists often raise these very concerns. They talk about playing God with biotechnology, or unleashing AI systems that may evolve beyond our ability to control them. In this way, the Book of Enoch feels not like an archaic relic, but a prophetic warning dressed in ancient narrative form. And then there is the mystery of human origin and spiritual purpose. The Book of Enoch suggests that we are not alone, that forces beyond our sight are constantly shaping our journey, some to uplift, others to deceive. Whether one believes in angels or aliens, divine laws or quantum codes, Enoch's visions nudge us to remain aware that there are dimensions to life we cannot always see or fully grasp. But what we do in the face of mystery, whether we act with reverence or recklessness, makes all the difference. The fall of the Watchers, the rise of the Nephilim, the flood that followed, and the eventual preservation of these warnings through the Ethiopian Orthodox Church all point toward a repeating pattern in human history: access to profound truths, followed by misuse, followed by cleansing or judgment. It's a spiritual cycle that transcends religion, appearing in mythology, science fiction, and even political ideologies. Still, the Book of Enoch doesn't only warn. It also offers hope. It portrays Enoch not as a prophet of doom but as a man chosen to walk with angels, to learn the architecture of the heavens, and to return with a message meant to guide humanity toward righteousness. His mystical ascent speaks to our own longing to rise above chaos and confusion, to understand our purpose in the cosmos. In this way, Enoch becomes more than a historical figure or mythic symbol. He becomes a model of awakening, a figure who bridged the gap between heaven and earth, who saw beyond the visible, and who understood that divine law is not just about obedience but about harmony. He saw the balance between knowledge and humility, between power and purpose. And perhaps that is what modern society needs most. Not just innovation, but wisdom. Not just discovery, but discernment. The Book of Enoch reminds us that the deepest truths are not always the loudest or most obvious. Sometimes they lie hidden in ancient scrolls, protected by isolated traditions, waiting for a generation bold enough and humble enough to read them rightly. Enoch's journey challenges us to look up not only to the stars but to the ideals we hold sacred. His story invites us to imagine a world where technology and morality walk hand in hand, where revelations are handled with reverence, and where humanity once again hears the whisper of the divine in the wind, the stars, and the mysteries of the soul. In the end, whether one sees the Book of Enoch as literal truth, symbolic narrative, or ancient science fiction, its impact remains undeniable. It dares to ask uncomfortable questions. It urges reflection. And it reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, our future will always depend on how wisely we walk the path between knowledge and responsibility. From the sacred halls of Ethiopian monasteries to the modern debates about aliens, angels, and AI, Enoch's voice has survived millennia not because it promises easy answers, but because it stirs the deepest parts of our imagination and conscience. It teaches that the universe, no matter how vast or mysterious, has a moral structure. And it is up to us to choose where we stand within it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe our channel. Have a good day.